Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wild. Today, we are talking about Uber says it was likely hacked by teenage hacker gang LAPSUS. To be honest with you, I don't know how to feel at this point. Not sure whether I should be upset with Uber for not updating their software so it can't be hacked. Annoyed at the fact that it only took teenagers to actually hack Uber. Or should I be impressed by the fact that teenagers are getting this smart these days? Either way, I want to see what the heck happened to where Uber got hacked, how it actually is for gig workers, and if our personal information is jeopardized or not, and everything in between. So with that said, let's get started. Uber has published additional information about how it was hacked, claiming that it was targeted by a LAPSUS, a cyber criminal gang with a hefty track record that is thought to be composed largely of teenagers. Not only is this group of teenagers that good, but they've been doing this for a while, so they're seasoned. I'm genuinely impressed by that. It takes children to be able to hack Uber. That's genuinely impressive to me. Last week, someone broke into Uber's network and used the access to cause all sorts of chaos. The culprit, who claims to be 18 years old, managed to spam company staff with vulgar Slack messages, post a picture of a ding dong on the company's internal websites, and leak images of Uber's internal environment to the web. Now the rideshare giant has released a statement providing the details of its ordeal. They spam bombed them, sent pictures of their junk, assuming it's their junk, and provided internal information to the web. That's not too surprising to me. However, I'm still genuinely impressed that teenagers are able to do that. I'm not trying to condone what they did, but damn. In its update, the company has clarified how it was hacked, largely confirming an account made by the hacker themselves. Uber says that the hacker exploited the login credentials of a company contractor to initially gain access to the network. The hacker may have originally bought access to those credentials via the dark web, Uber says. The hacker then used them to make multiple login attempts to the contractor's account. The login attempts prompted a slew of multi-factor authentication requests for the contractor, who ultimately authenticated one of them. The hacker has previously claimed that it conducted a social engineering scheme to convince the contractor to authenticate the login attempt. Okay, I'm a little confused about that. So when you say company contractor, are you referring to a gig worker, or are you referring to somebody who works in the corporate office as a contractor? Also, if this was a gig worker, how do you even manage to do that? Like, seriously, these kids are smart. I'm genuinely concerned for my future if they're able to do that. Security experts have called this an MFA fatigue attack. This increasingly common intrusion tactic seeks to overwhelm a victim with authentication push requests until they validate the hacker's illegitimate login attempt. So basically, they spam the contractor enough to where they're like, all right, I'll check on it, see what the heck is going on. And then once they do, they have access to their account and their information. That's not just cyber attack, that's psychological stuff, man. Holy crap. Most interestingly, Uber has also claimed whoever was behind this hacking episode is affiliated with the cybercrime gang LAPSUS. It's not totally clear how Uber knows that. The company's statement reads. So Uber, you know about the cybercrime gangs. Is there something you're not telling us about your affiliation with the dark web? Are you doing something behind closed doors to where you would actually have access to that information? What's going on here? We believe that this attacker or attackers are affiliated with the hacking group called LAPSUS, which has been increasingly active over the last year or so. There are reports over the weekend that this same actor breached video game maker Rockstar Games. Wait, isn't that a really big company? As you may have heard, Rockstar Games was indeed hacked this week in a fairly disastrous episode that saw footage of its unreleased title, Grand Theft Auto 6, leaked online in a fairly unfinished state. The hacker behind the breach is claiming that they're the same person behind the Uber hack. Gizmodo reached out to Rockstar Games to inquire whether it could attribute to its own data breach to the LAPSUS gang. We will update this story if we hear back. Okay, real talk for a second. if you committed a cybercrime, why would you talk about it? I understand if you're trying to do business and you're being hired to do a specific thing. I mean, I guess I kind of get that. But why would you advertise that information? Like, come on. Lapsus rose to prominence earlier this year when the gang claimed to have hacked a number of prominent tech companies, including Microsoft, Cisco, Samsung, Okta, Nvidia, and Ubisoft, among others. The alleged ringleader of the gang, a 16-year-old who went by the pseudonym White, was arrested in March, but due to his age, his identity has not been publicly revealed. The gang has continued to be active, however, as the recent episode appears to demonstrate. A 16-year-old running a cyber gang. How does that even happen? I understand kids can be a lot, and I understand that gangs can be dangerous. This isn't just a gang. This is a really, really smart, really intelligent, really capable gang now. Like, holy crap. I'm genuinely concerned. I feel so dumb looking at this right now because I wouldn't be capable of doing half of these things. In its update, Uber also reiterated that it had not seen any evidence to suggest that the user data was compromised during the incident. We've not seen that the attacker accessed the production, i.e. public-facing systems that power our apps, any user accounts, or the databases we use to store sensitive user information, like credit card numbers, user bank account info, or trip history. We also encrypt credit card information and personal health data, offering a further level of protection. Let's hope they're right about that. First off, I genuinely believe they would say that just to cover their own butts. That's number one. Number two, these kids are able to hack into some of the biggest tech companies out there, and you automatically assume that they can't get into encrypted information? Like, what's going on? This is my opinion. It's worth what you pay for it. None of you pay me. There you go. First off, I am genuinely impressed that these kids are able to hack. I'm not saying that to condone their actions, but you gotta be like smart up here in order to be able to do that. I am not the brightest knife at the crayon box. I am just doing the work, man. I just know that if I hustle, I'll get to where I want eventually. But these kids are able to hack some of the biggest companies out there. But the question I'm having is, what's their motive? Like, what's the goal with all of these cyber crimes? Just to make noise, or are they being hired to do things? What is your goal? I know that one of the things that you did to release an unreleased title, Grand Theft Auto 6, what is the purpose of you doing all of these things? There's no definitive motive here. Do you just want to make a name for yourselves? Do you just want to achieve something? Either way, it is impressive. While I cannot say for certain it's because of Uber's faulty software, it is something to be said that Uber's software is literally that hackable at this point. And this isn't just Uber. This is DoorDash. This is Grubhub. These are all of these gig apps. They're so hackable because, well, their software is shoddy. And because they're so shoddy, they get hacked so easily. So it's no wonder they're going to be on the receiving end of this stuff. I'm glad to hear that they're saying that no information of ours is being sent out. But I've heard the wind blow before. And it wouldn't surprise me if they were just saying that to cover their butts. So make sure you protect your personal information just in case, and don't fall victim to the MFA fatigue that they were just talking about. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!